Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to IEM Oakland. Now, over the past 2 days, teams have shared blood, sweat, and precious bullets across Erangel. But I tell you what, it now only comes down to this one last game. After this, we'll be at this beautiful podium. One team will be raising the trophy and taking home $60,000. That's it. No more lives. We're all done. It's time for match number 8. You know what, guys? Everyone in the crowd, all these people, these 20 players that have been playing their hearts and souls out for 2 days, they need your support. You're live on Twitch now. Crowd, make some noise! The crowd is ready. The players are ready. James and the team at the analyst desk, let's get this show on the road.
Thank you very much, Richard. Indeed, the crowd here in Oakland has been fantastic across all 7 of our games that we've currently played out so far, and now it all comes down to this. At the moment, AAA sits atop that position, and everybody now needs to challenge them to knock them off that perch there, otherwise they will be walking away our champions here in Oakland. Once again, joined by Avenger and Steel. Before we get into this Game 8, please, is there going to be wild craziness? I need drops, I need crazy, I need everything.
I think a team might try to take out AAA early.
Yeah.
Because the only way that a team's going to be able to take that first place, given that they have a 200-point lead on second place, they need to have a bad game.
Yes.
And the team that wins needs to have a good game with lots of kills. So if you're... The problem with this, though, is that there's so many teams that are like between 2nd and 7th place that are, you know, like 100 to 200 points away from each other. Can any of them do it?
It's risky.
It's ballsy.
It's really risky.
It's too ballsy. I wouldn't do it if I was in the money. I wouldn't do a 50-50 contest on AA boys, because yes, it's a contest, but you also got to win and walk out of it with 2, 3, 4 guys if you want to keep on surviving.
So what we're saying is that we need somebody like it is from 12th downwards to basically go and sabotage teams that are higher placed. Try and go for aggressive players if they want to really disrupt the flow of everything that's going on. But even if you try that, teams like Against All Authority AAA are still fantastically positioned as great fighters, regardless of the way that they've been migrating from circle to circle, finding the positions, etc.
It's like Final Jeopardy, though. Like,
yeah.
You know, if you both have like $1,000 or something, do you go all in? Like, I'm gonna get this last question.
This is the beauty of this game. From game to game to game, we have seen it. Even though DC has got themselves 2 wins overall, they still are behind those teams that have been consistent. The AAAs of this world, the Tempo Storms of this world. We've seen teams like Cloud9 take a win themselves, and they found themselves so far down because they haven't had that consistency that's been available to them. So when it comes down to this final map, this final game, AAA can be challenged, but it's going to take a tall an order. Which of these teams do you think could challenge, if you think about the top ranks, can challenge for that first place?
I would have said DC, but they're a few hundred points behind. Like, they have to have a monstrous game.
Yeah.
They need to have not only the win, which would be the 3rd win,
yes,
but they would need to have it with like at least 10 kills.
Well, they sounded confident in the interview. He said, well, we're going to go for another 3rd win again. Something that I want to ask you, Adventure, is Tempo Storm the team to do it? They've been consistent so far. They are 2nd place currently with 1,275 points. Again, to remind you out there, against the 1,490 points of AAA. Can Tempo Storm be the disruptor of all of this?
I think it's open from 2nd to 8th, 9th place, because the points are just so close, and I think it's open. I mean, I don't think that at AAA they're going to be contested by any of the top 10 teams, but they could be contested by some of those plane-dependent droppers, like Ghost Gaming, Ronin.
Yeah.
Win and Rain.
Some of the big players that we've seen come out through this tournament, obviously Andy Pyro currently sat at the top with 16 kills. Below that, at 13 kills apiece, you've got people like Interrogate from Noble, Scoom from Liquid, you've got Haxeti from, I can never say his name properly, from FaZe, etc. So these are kind of, those teams have been the big movers, the big shakers, and you can see why when they've got that caliber of player on their team.
Yeah.
All right, well, go on.
Scoom, he's a real good, he's a good player, and I mean, yeah.
All right, well, we're ready to go into our final game. Thank you very much, gentlemen. As we have map number 8, Oakland, get ready. We're opening over to the commentary team for the final game of the Intel Extreme Masters Oakland.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is where heroes are made. Who will take the final pass? And it is going to be, once again, another pass over Kameshki. And nobody has left the plane yet. Now they're leaving. There we go. Wow, nobody got out until Yasnaya then. Incredible.
And that could be extremely influential. Everybody's kind of avoiding the Stalber area. Nobody really wants to be a part of that. We saw a couple of teams opt into it. Oh.
No.
Oh, looks like we have...
there's going to be a restart. There's going to be a restart. We almost avoided it throughout the entire tournament. That tells me that I think it's when 4 players don't get into the plane, I believe, is the exact thing. I mean, bearing in mind, this is the final round. We absolutely have to be fair to everybody. And, you know, obviously the guys on the desk were just talking about, like, against all authority, everybody knows to go Milta. Will they switch it up? I mean, you got to look at the teams that are in and around there. Obviously, we're talking about individual droppers. I want to talk about individual performances. While we saw Digital Chaos picking up a win today, Ghost Gaming have snuck their way into 4th place. We've got currently, out of the top 5, 3 of the teams that went through the gauntlet, the World War III that was the IEM qualifiers.
That was such an amazing series to have to fight their way through. Hundreds of teams they had to fight just to get to this stage. And they definitely showed up to perform. You could tell that a lot of teams had a little bit of jitters, you know, first day playing on LAN kind of thing. But then they just really, really stepped it up. Ghost has come in and been very, very confident today. They've moved themselves back into a fourth place spot. But with this, we're going to go ahead and throw it back over to the analysts so that way they can give us a breakdown on what they're expecting to see inside this round. So you guys take it away.
Thank you very much, Matrim. Indeed, yeah. When we have a little bit of downtime to fill, we're here and we're ready to go. That's right. Now, the thing is that going into game number 8, of course, we've been talking specifically today, more so than yesterday, about the condensity of the amount of players and teams that have been just basically prolonging the mid-game and getting to an earlier mid-game because they've been so densely packed in that first or second circle. Are we going to see a difference here? Because some of these teams that are especially in the very top ranks don't want to be necessarily going into those kind of hot zones.
We saw it already last game, AAA, they were waiting for the first 2 zones. We saw 15 other teams really dense in the middle. And I mean, I don't know if they have been drinking last night or what, but they haven't been doing the homework, most of these teams, because there's so much open area around in the first 2 zones. Yeah. And you can just do a wide pull and play around it.
I mean, if you look at from game to game to game steal, as we know we're talking about here, there is all of that area. You could quite easily survive for so long, but we did see moments where teams like Method, for example, I think it was Method, came in very late when they were trying to do a similar tactic. So you've got to kind of pick your battles and know when to go back into the circle, right?
Right. So, I mean, we can sit here and talk all day about, you know, the outskirts of the circles are really open, and there's a high density of people, like 10, 15 teams packed in the center. But as you mentioned, in game number 4 from yesterday, Method tried to go on the outskirts, and they ran into a team and ended up getting wiped that way. So it's very difficult to really know what the best decision is, and especially when we're sitting here and we have all the information of knowing exactly where all the players are on the map, because we can see everything. The players don't have that information. They're very limited, so they go by what they have by intuition from where the plane started and ended, and then where teams normally like to start their looting pattern, and then they have to just use judgment for the rest of that. Now, I think teams that do have coaches present might be able to, you know, if the coaches are able to watch the games, they can see, oh, this is what's happening in these games today. This is how teams have reacted, and maybe the teams with coaches are going to be more prepared going into this last game.
It's very important as well, as they were mentioning over at the casters desk, that Ghost Gaming have snuck into 4th place. Yeah. With their consistency throughout the day, being able to find some of those top spots and just kind of keep themselves very relevant in this game. Were we really expecting that from Ghost Gaming, looking at day number 1 coming into day number 2?
Not really, but we saw them pushing AAA in the 6th game, and AAA, they just looked around and wiped them. So I don't know. I mean, they're really aggressive as well today.
Yeah.
They weren't that yesterday. So it's a different tactic as well from them.
I suppose that's the change-up that you can see between those days, that kind of aggression coming out to be able to aid them. I love that shot, by the way. Normally I don't reference shots that we get, but being able to get the top-down view of all 80 players playing here on LAN, phenomenal stuff. As we're just waiting to get back into map number 8. Obviously, it does take quite a while to get 80 players ready to go, if we have a little bit of a crash or something like that. So, any predictions? You already mentioned that you thought that TS Tempo Storm might be able to actually take this one, considering their past performances. Steel, I want to hear from you. Who do you think could... of course, there's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
Just go on a whim.
Okay, if you want me to pick a team, I'm going to say AAA wins this map too. Why not?
I mean, yeah, they've been strong so far.
Why not? But it really is too difficult to predict because we have like Digital Chaos winning 2 maps. They're the only team that's won multiple maps at this event, and it's just, you've seen so many different teams just ending up in the top 5. We saw a huge shift where the bottom 5 teams from yesterday are now, you know, like top 5 today. So it's just too hard. The teams and the players here are so good that if they have things going their way, they can win this map.
Yeah.
And it's just too hard to predict.
It's a good point. It's a very, very good point. Of course, there has been constant positions for the people have established themselves in that top 5, but it really all comes down to the wire here in a few moments. I'm not quite sure if our map is ready just yet. We'll get updates on that in a little bit. As Avenger, what have you thought about overall, seeing how these guys have been able to play on LAN? How do you think they've been able to respond to playing on LAN, considering that most of them haven't been able to kind of venture onto this kind of stage?
I think we can see some of the performers on the teams that they haven't been in this kind of stage before. And I think they have a rough time emotionally because there's a pressure from stage online. You have like 100,000 viewers.
Yeah.
And I think it's been immense to some of these teams, and they've been performing really good online. But one of the teams coming out from performing really good online is AAA. And as I predicted earlier today, I think I was going to see AAA at the top, but also Penta coming into the money because they've been really far behind. And they did 2 really good games, but this game we didn't really see anything from them.
There's a big correlation between everybody's predictions that we heard, you know, in the back in the casters room, etc., of AAA being able to do well potentially here, and they have done. One team that's currently in 6th place is FaZe, of course, who had hugely high expectations online, currently in 6th place, looking for big points. So our commentators, as well as our players, as you can see, are getting into game number 8, and I'm sure we are almost ready to head on over here. So thank you very much for your patience, guys. Let's go over to the commentary team for game number 8.
Here we go. A second time. The final game of the day and the tournament here in Oakland. Ooh. Who will it be? It is a very interesting dropper straight across Sosnovka and up towards Georgopol. It cuts out a large portion of the eastern map like Yasnaya. Will we see people challenging for that Milta drop? I'm looking for AAA. They are heading Milta way. Is anybody going with them? It doesn't look like it.
It looks like they're still going to get their home to themselves. Given in a drop like this, you're going to see that a lot of people are going to drop over military base, but then push across the canal proper. We're seeing that's going to be happening right now with AAA. They are definitely one of the teams that we're going to be following as we progress inside of here because they are the points leader. You can see FaZe has actually opted into Novo. It's going to be Crimson that's actually going to take military base proper. And surprise, surprise, we have a whole bunch of teams that have decided that they want to go to Georgopol.
Yeah, that's where the action could certainly happen earlier on. You can see Yemti, he is in Novo, so FaZe switching it up. Now, FaZe sitting in 6th place. They're a team that certainly could challenge for it, but we need some massive, massive performances from these. I would say top 7 teams. That's pretty much where I'm pulling the line. It's like a 300-point gap after that. So you really need a big performance. And these guys, they're a team that, well, they almost won, but coming into this as hot favorites have yet to get themselves a chicken dinner. There was a brutal moment yesterday we found at the bar, actually, with FaZe sitting down at the side, and somebody was having a chicken. He's like, oh, you want some of this? It was Digital Chaos, actually. You want some of this? Oh, sorry, you haven't had a chicken dinner yet. You don't deserve it. It's something that kind of rubs straight in FaZe's face, and it's something they're certainly going to be looking to try and get. Maybe they could put a challenge in. There's the scores. You can see the top 5. Digital Chaos just got themselves their second chicken dinner in there. But it is a big, big gap. 225 points ahead of Tempo Storm, who themselves have yet to pick up a chicken dinner. They've been there and thereabouts in the top 5 for almost every single game Tempo Storm keep running. Looks like first phase, they're going to switch it up, and they are going to jump on a boat from Novo and go to Milta Power.
Speaking of Tempo Storm, they have been the model of consistency inside of the series. They're repeatedly getting game after game with a high qualifying finish. To be in second place and not have secured a win yet just tells you how strong of performers they are, because they're getting this off of kills and just sheer consistency. With this, we're coming over to Ghost Gaming, which is another one of our qualifier teams that has come up inside of here. And wow, look at that Wookie Bookie.
Let's get the circle, guys. It is way up in the north. And TSM, a team that performed in the last game of the day yesterday, are in prime position. Ghost Gaming, a team that are currently in 4th place, I believe, are still looking good. And they're up in where nobody ever goes, actually, up in Zaki.
Nobody goes to Zarki, so you know it's a safe place to go. And man, every time you go to Zarki, the circle always goes to the other side. Except this time, Ghost definitely gets a little bit of favor coming out of that.
I just noticed, actually, Crimson and EG are both in military. So actually, finally, someone's gone, you know what? We've watched all these VODs. We've realized the only team that gets all of military base is EG. Maybe we should go there.
Yeah, but look at this. They're not even getting really too contested. They've kind of split it apart, taking their own pieces out.
I just want to put out there, by the way, no Sosnovka circles throughout the tournament.
Feels good, man. I love it. But speaking of one of the big factors inside of this circle, we do have that river that cuts straight through the map. So all these guys that are in the southern part of the island are going to have to make their way back up across that so that you can see multiple choke points actually being held. There's a lot of little buildings around these bridge points that people will play. Try to pick up some of the kills. So this movement phase, specifically for the first circle, could be very, very, very big.
So let's have an overall view of just about where everyone is. I mean, we have got the standard drops, as we mentioned. AAA, they're in Milta. FaZe have kind of split themselves between Novo and Power. You can see Penta, they've gone the same space as always. Liquid, actually, they've gone for the similar position as well. They've kind of been looting the houses effectively in and around. Miami Flamingos, you see them in Yasnaya. Wind and Rain doing exactly the same sort of thing. LG in and around Gatka, like they've been every single time. TSM, same spot. Noble, same spot. Georgia South. Ronin up in Saverni, they're actually well inside the circle. And I'm trying to think of the last game we had here, and I spoke to Smack, actually, it was afterwards, and obviously it was the first game of the day today, where the circle was in very much a similar position it's in now, and he said, that was our game to win. That was our game to win. It was in their heads, and now they're seeing the circle, they're going to be thinking the exact same thing. Can we play spoiler, and can we steal that first place?
It's all going to be about how people can move through these hill areas that we're going to see on the north part of the island. Naturally, we do have Zarki in here, a little bit of Georgia Pool. Circle can't go back over that way. Cornshuckers just driving through, like, okay, hey, I know everybody's going to be up in North Georgia. Just get in the Dacia, go as fast as you can, get away from it. So with this, it's going to be a big part of how do you move through these very, very hilly terrains, since there's not going to be as many like buildings that you can try to take inside here. Coming in and trying to get real estate very, very early is a big part of this game. Look at how much of the circle is inside of water right now. About half of it, all things considered, especially if you count in the river. So trying to get some level of claim marked and say this is our spot very, very early in this game is going to be huge.
Well, Method taking shots. There are a couple of people down already. Valiant gonna get tagged up pretty heavy here, but not finished off, it seems. Method have got that. It's, I would say, prime territory. Really, we're going in the water at this stage already.
He had nowhere else he could go. He just dropped down in there.
Well,
so
I mean, we should point out Tempo Storm are in second place right now, so Valiant absolutely needs to stay alive. He doesn't want to get picked off here. Break, of course, we were talking about him earlier on. He's I wouldn't say had a standout performance so far. Smack kind of took the limelight in that win they had, of course, but he has done certainly very well with the rest of his team. But we should talk about the strategy that TSM have been running. They've been the guys that come outside the circle. They're already in the circle. Unless they want to drive out of Georgia Pole, they're not going anywhere. So they're going to be well in there. But it does, of course, mean they can loot for days.
Well, that's going to be kind of one of the problems with it, though, is usually they come to Georgia Pool, they get stuck outside in the blue. Well, I can't say stuck. They enjoy staying outside in the blue. They just kind of met up, and they just loot to their heart's content. Well, now they're not going to have that same opportunity because a couple of teams might come up and try to contest, take over different parts of Georgia Pool. Now, it is on the edge. Well, I wouldn't say the edge, but it's close to the edge of the circle, so a lot of teams might just opt into going directly in for the hillsides.
Well, you can see your boy Dre on the move, as is everybody else. If we can get the map up, you can see that just about everybody is migrating up towards the northern area. And we saw this before, of course. A lot of people heading in towards that hillside area. People trying to get the early areas. If they look back to the qualifiers, I'm looking where Profi is right now. We had similar positions for a lot of these teams in this position. I think it was Envious, actually, that sat in this position and got themselves like 20+ kills. He's going to get a little peek, and he's looking towards that. It's what's called North Bunker on a lot of maps, but it's a sneaky little area where you can sneak in. Whoa, EG just got absolutely wrecked. That's got to be a vehicle explosion. Crimson taking them down. Of course, they were both on military base together. I think EG are out. They are the first team down.
And that's just right there next to the edge of this. This is a fight that was happening on the outside of the circle. Well, not outside of the circle, but outside of the island itself. So they're going to be able to get a little bit free extra military loot. They're going to grab themselves a vehicle. Crimson's going to make their way inside the circle, but they're going to be coming in very late into this. Circle has already started to compress in, so they're going to have to find a very interesting path to get up on this northern side of the island, figure out where they want to go, because if you can bring up the map, it is just absolutely condensed up there. Everybody's just kind of separating out and getting some level of control over this spot. You can see that there's a lot of nice sight lines, but everybody's kind of dipping out in between different hills. Noble's actually opted all the way up along the coast there itself. You can see that Ghost has done the same thing. McCoy's going to be riding back over there. A lot of shots are going to be coming out right now back and forth as these guys are trying to mobilize. We might not see any deaths coming out, but definitely a couple of knocks going back and forth.
The complex that Ronin in is the same one that G2 got, what, 26 kills, I think, in that insane qualifier matchup. They have a very good complex, and at the moment, central circle-wise, it is right in the middle. Of course, we should mention that FaZe and AAA, neither of them are in the circle right now, so they have to make this rotation in towards it. We're seeing, obviously, Ghost Gaming in a very good position in 4th place at the moment. McCoy and Austin making their way in towards this UAZ there. You can see off in the distance, Profi and Define Legit. There is this cliff side, which offers a lot of cover. It's where Noble have chosen to go already. It looks like Ghost Gaming are going to head in towards this little complex they've got in the north.
Well, one of the things to notice is a lot of these squads has opted into the area just to the west of Severny. And so, wow, we actually are seeing Ninjas in Pajamas taking a lot of casualties here. Ghost Gaming is just doing a little bit of a reposition, but we were talking about how everybody was next to Severny. That was the fight that was happening over there because C9 is just on the outskirts of that. But with the circling, how it comes through, if it ends up around Severny, that could be very big. But if it ends up going like further west over towards Zarki, everybody's kind of abandoned that area. So we could see a lot of this migration phase have to kick back.
You know, we've been talking, obviously, with the point system, etc. Method getting themselves 2 kills there. Looks like both Luminosity getting picked off. This circle with these complexes actually offers an opportunity for massive amounts of kills for some of these complexes. Obviously, because at the end of the day, there's quite a large area. We just saw it with Tempo Storm there, who have a very good complex of their own at the moment. Teams have to travel a long distance in those vehicles to get to these complexes. There's not an easy escape to get away. So chances of getting near your scouts most likely will die.
Well, it all depends on the pathing, but at this point, you want to sacrifice. Everybody right now is just playing for that survival game, especially these top teams. They may not necessarily be going for kills anymore. They just want to make sure that they can get a foot in a safe zone and try to survive for as long as possible. But this circle is going to deny that. With the amount of just wide open areas, the limited amount of buildings, these guys are going to have to fight at some point. Now, it's all just going to be about how does the circle force that to happen.
Well, we talked about teams needing to take AAA out early. They are going to be the last team to reach the circle. FaZe have gone way north, actually around Stauber. In fact, Penta are coming in from Yasnaya's side, and here is AAA. They're going to be the final team. It looks like they're going to actually go around Yasnaya and up towards the hills of Stauber. So they're going to be coming in very, very late. That's a little spin from Roxaze. I don't think he quite planned that on camera in Dacia. But as it is, you know, teams that need to go down early if somebody wants to take victory off them here in Oakland. And as it stands, they're in a very good position. They're effectively playing the TSM strat and coming in late. I mean, not by choice, of course, because the circle was completely the other side from Milta. Just
bring a little bit of vengeance back inside there. They are definitely coming in much earlier than TSM normally does. We're going to see that AAA and FaZe are both coming inside the safe circle as of right now. I'm really excited about where the next circle is going to update to. That's going to be a big defining factor inside of what we see. If we have to see all of these teams repositioned to either the east or the west of the circle, it's just going to be a bloodbath as all these guys have to try to separate out. Because we can see a lot of these teams are within just a couple of 100 meters of each other, but the hills are what are providing some level of cover. So if we have to see these guys that are very centered up right now move, we're just going to see so many people start getting picked off, knocked out of vehicles, and here we go. Migrations come in. Where's it going? Oh, the circle loves them, so it's going to stay on top of them. Just our guys that are on the outer edge. Really, Tempo Storm, Method, you can see Crimson's going to have to come back in, and TSM, they may come in. You never know with TSM.
Just stay out there a little longer. It's only the second circle, so it's not going to be doing a great deal of damage. Severny, very much open at the moment. FaZe heading that way. AAA also working the way just past that as well. You can see Shadow, his vehicle very much picked off. He's got nowhere to go. The car does go up, but it gives Shadow now the cover. You can see just took behind the wheel.
It's got him covered, but what's he going to do with it? He's so pinned. He knows that he's essentially dead.
He's got Monkey coming in support, so he should be able to get out of there. Monkey's going to drive in and around. They're going to... Oh, Gems, that's risky. He's actually pushing across the open field to try and go for the kill. He's going to have that little bit of cover here as he tries to push around the side. Shadow, I'm looking towards him on the map. What sort of support he has? He's kind of been left alone. The rest of his team have gone into Severny, so he has been completely left on his own here. And remember, AAA, they are in the lead, but Shadow's going down.
And this is all about Penta playing super aggressive. They know that they need these kill points. They're definitely fighting for that middle of the pack spot. If they can get just a couple more spots.
Is he going to pan him? He's going to pan him.
Oh.
He's going to pan him.
Oh, going for the punch. Disrespect. All right, and doing a little bit of dance on top of him. You know, you got to appreciate it. One last game tonight, so everybody's bringing what they've got. Come back over here with Hexete, doing a little bit of a drive around. Tempo Storm's Maluk also opting into running in the motorcycle, but he gets taken down by Frolicker.
Yeah, he's looking for someone to go. The rest of his team nowhere near, so he's very much a dead man. Hexeti was seeing also doing that scouting, looking for a complex, looking for something free that the rest of his team can come in. And this is the sacrificial movement. AAA themselves, as I say, they've got 3 members in just the south side of Severny, where obviously we're looking towards a circle. There is large portions of water currently, with obviously the coastline available, so we may start to see them. Now, thinking this tactic, I know it's obviously one that people don't want to talk about, but it is totally viable right now that AAA could head towards that coast and just secure a win.
Well, we just saw Maluk, who did get down and now has been officially killed. We couldn't see Tempo Storm actually come up and support and get the res. Remember, that is a second place team. That's your boy Dre as well. Remember, Tempo Storm, they're fighting, trying to go for that first place win, and they're already losing 2 people.
Well, I'm looking towards Samty. Samty is safe. Looks like Valiant is going to be past them as well. You can see no wheels on that car. Just the front wheel ripped off. It is very low on health, about half health. He's going to get over towards Samty. There's obviously a lot of cover in the hills now, so he's kind of safe. Just about holds it. Just about holds it there. And he's finally into safety. So 2 members of Tempo Storm already down. As you mentioned, second place for them already. So this will make a first place finish very hard for them. And it only makes AAA that little bit more secure in first.
Well, look at this. They've opted into a building right next to Digital Chaos, another one of our teams that's vying for some points here. So they're just trying to pepper out a couple of shots, say, okay, you guys stay in that building, you don't come this direction, trying to see if they can get any line of sight back over there. And your boy Dre, we do see in the kill feed, finally does go down. Circle is about to start condensing in about 5 seconds. This is, again, one of the more friendly circles, so it's all going to be about where everybody has to move again. And I do have to say that the circle right now still has about half the area being water. Everybody's still opting into playing inside of land, but that could be a big influencer as we move inside of this, because with as condensed as all these guys are, there's still 65 people up and alive. It's going to be a lot of real estate that's already been consumed.
Ghoster in a great complex there. We'll see where the circle swings when it comes through. The second circle is always a slower one. I can see Crimson exchanging fire. I'm not trying to see who it is actually with. It's Avian, actually. So it's Digital Chaos, of course, who got themselves 2 chicken dinners already. That's just happened. Method kind of creeping on the edge. You can see they're in there. Probably just chilling. I mean, is he like... Yeah, okay.
He's just hanging out. You know, you don't have everything else you got to look at. So.
I can't really see him because there's a jib right behind my head, but I'm trying to see whether he's even sat at his keyboard right now. But pretty casual. TSM, they're just obviously sitting on the edge of the circle. Plenty of land to play with at the moment. AAA inside Severny here. So everybody's positioning very much secure. The only people outside the circle right now is Cornchuckers. Cornchuckers who are heading north, actually. They're heading north towards TSM.
Well, it should be noted that a lot of the teams that are vying for that first, second, third spot have all been forced into some level of an edge strategy. The center of the map is really consumed with a lot of the teams that are kind of going for the middle of the pack status, which could be a big influencer because if these squads have to move further in, all of our leaderboard teams are going to be forced into a position where they might have to be running through multiple bullets coming their way.
Well, Ronin and Noble, the only two that are really exchanging fire. You can see Penta and Wind and Rain having a little tip for tap back and forward. But outside of that, very much cool, calm, and collected. Remember, even last place picks up 40 points in this game. So immediately it pulses everybody forward. And we were trying to do a little bit of math, really what it takes to stop AAA. And we were thinking anything outside of 8th place, really, they're pretty much golden at the moment, in 8th and above. But you can see 65 alive, next circle about to come in. Cornchuckers, they're a team that are in the money right now, are playing the med game.
Well, at this point, they're trying to play for a little bit of safety where they want to get some of those survivor points, kind of rolling a little bit of the TSM strategy. So bullets going back and forth, and wow, so many of these squads are going to have to move back up. We're going to see a lot of people coming back around the coast. Now, if you're a Noble fan, this is definitely going to favor you as they are very centered up along that coast with a strong source of control. Ghost has also got a level of control inside the buildings. Ronin's already inside there. Cloud9's already inside there. Liquid and Alliance. Everybody else is going to have to make their way into this very, very tiny circle with half of it consumed with water.
AAA and Severny are still just inside the circle, just the west side of Severny. FaZe on the move. Haxeti's going to be the man that scouts. You can see Digital Chaos on your screen here as Avian goes looking, but it's Haxeti I'm really trying to focus on at the moment and seeing where he's going. Ghost Gaming, we talked about these. They have this, I would say, god complex effectively as it is. You can see it's that 3-story open roof, sort of decent ledge around it. They have perfect vision around them. TSM are going to be the team that will pass on by. Haxeti, he's looking for a complex and getting shot just about every angle as he looks around. So he's trying to find it. That's not really the complex you want, really. As the FaZe memory got knocked, the rest of his team nowhere near. That's going to be the end of Haxeti.
Well, this is really nice for Ghost Gaming because they have so much control over this wide open field around them. Everybody's being forced into a lot of odd angles off to the side. And here we go. We can see the Tipo Storm is managing to secure some kills.
Yeah, it's TSM that they're fighting with as well. And this is our 2nd and 3rd place teams, of course, engaging with one another. And, well, Tempo Storm, they lost 2 members early on. Valiant got to be so careful and try and keep his team alive. Tony V getting knocked down. That's Penta. Ultra's been playing very well today. He's one of the players I've noticed has been landing shot after shot after shot. They are just north of shooting range, actually, but it's
look at this. Cornchuckers is coming up back behind TSM as they're going to mobilize again. Did they see this? Yeah, you can see that they back out of the vehicles. They're like, whoa, this might be a little too risky. They saw Cornchuckers went on the other side of the hill, so they're like, okay, let's mobilize. We need to get to a safer location.
Risky 3 members in the UAZ as they make the move. You can see Cloud9 landing shots. That's Yempty going down for FaZe as well. FaZe are getting picked off early in this one. They're trying to make the way. They're going to head for the coastline, I feel, that FaZe are. They're getting shot. You can see AAA taking shots on them. That is going to be Funky FaZe. They've got to go, but they're going straight into Noble, and Noble lands a shot. That's Mexi going down. The last member of FaZe is also going to get picked off. That's going to be FuzzFace. He's ditched it in the water, and that's about all he can do.
We're talking about beforehand. Look at this level of control that Profi has. He has so many nice sight lines. Anybody that comes up over those hills, naturally, everybody has been forced into them. The moment that they step towards the coastline, it's just Ghost lighting everybody up, and Tempo Storm being pressed. And look at these shots coming out from Valier.
Gets himself the triple, but Paradox comes in and finishes off, and that is Tempo Storm down, I think. No, Samty. Samty is still alive.
Everybody just crawl to Paradox. Res me, please. Res me, please.
Where is Samty? There he comes. Samty's coming round. The brother of Yempty. He's just got one shot to go.
Tempo Storm.
Tempo Storm get themselves a quad kill. And that will be huge. They're in 2nd place currently in points. And they absolutely needed that.
Tempo Storm's dreams and hopes survive in Samty right now. He is the solo man out. He has to find some way to survive through this. But man, did he just net himself a lot of kill points.
TSM, a team that still have all of their team alive, I believe. I'm looking for their positions at the moment. Looks like Digital Chaos have actually rotated very well. Ghost Gaming taking shots on them. You can see FuzzFace, the last member of FaZe there. He's tucked in on the cliffside, so not in the water, keeping himself alive. Liquid, they're also taking shots. There's Smack. You can see got himself that godlike tier 3 helmet. It's almost vital in some of these sort of games, and it's going to put him in a good position. But again, AAA still alive, sitting in Severny. 3 members as well there. And they are the team that really need to be dethroned effectively for anyone to take victory here.
Where are we going, D-Man? And it's still nicely centered up. We're going to have to see Digital Chaos come back out. Ghost is finally going to have to move. Method's going to have to move.
TSM
Wind and Rain's out. TSM actually did a hard push inside and drove through a whole bunch of people to get to where they were at.
Samty on his own. AAA have to move. Now, AAA have to move through Cloud9 and Miami Flamingos, so they're in a tricky spot. But we talked about it, you know, the viable tactics. There is still a little bit of coastline in there. McCoy from Ghost Gaming, looks like they're going to make the move early. Let's see which way they're going to go. McCoy being that scout early on to find Legit just behind him. Profi actually on foot at the moment, so he's going to run actually towards Method. It's McCoy that's looking for the land. Where is he going to be able to find it? Doesn't look like it. Digital Chaos taking shots on him from Fausto. Got themselves the chicken dinner just a moment ago. They want to get more. They said, you'll be coming to me for the interview again. We'll see as Ghosts go looking. They've got themselves a decent bit of territory, but now he's lost the tire.
Just such nice driving from terrain, making sure to dip into every single little crevice they can get through. And they're going to have to come back down and crash it inside the water, get a little bit of safety out of there, jump out. But remember, Noble is just up on the coast above them and can instantly take out anybody that comes up.
Fuzzface is actually just there as well. Look, Fuzzface is tucked in there. And it is water. It's water time for them. Okay, Liquid looking to land some shots. Profi goes down from falling, so the car actually took him down there. Liquid looks like they're getting run into by Wind and Rain. You can start seeing the kill feed, but we're trying to focus on exactly the teams that have a chance. Noble are one of them. They have a very good chance in this game, but the Circle still very much favoring Ronin, a team that obviously is way outside the top 10, but they are in a very good position to take a chicken dinner here.
You can see a lot of these teams are trying to get over towards the water, but they just can't get through the line of defense that Noble has set up over here. They've just not allowing anybody to get back over to these rocks. Now, the rocks themselves along that coast are very easy to hide in, as we were seeing Fuzzface kind of juking out and hiding back inside there. Now, we do also only have Method that's in that spot.
AAA is starting to make a move. They're starting to try and creep their way in. Monkey's going to be the scout guy for them. They have to get moving soon because the blue is starting to come in. Shiv and Oroxes are still in Severny. Fuzzface you can see there on the ledge, but it's Monkey I would kind of like to look at because he looks like he's about to breach on Cloud9. He's just crept in the circle. Shiv's going to go on option. Okay, so AAA are going for a massive split strategy here. They're choosing to completely surround the circle and separate in 3 different directions.
So AAA is pushing up forward. They're on the outside of this. You can see that they're still inside of Severny, so they're coming inside late. Samty is also still outside in the blue, slowly moving inside. Andy Pyro is trying to drive back over next to the coast, but he's going to be running right up on top of Noble. You can see that actually Ronin's taking some shots at him as well.
Shiv is stealing Alliance's vehicle. That's Alliance is inside that little hut, and Shiv's managed to jump on that bike, but he's getting lit up by Tony, and Tony takes him down. So Shiv down. Okay, I'm entering. I'm going to try and do a quick top count. I think we're at top 10 still. Oh, and the circle moves towards Noble and FaZe and Ghost, all just those, and that's going to move everybody. There is no complexes but a single shack in this final circle.
In the final circle, there is also a road and a lot of wide open plains, just a couple of trees. See, the Rex is trying to make his way inside of here. Austin's holding down this backwater location, making sure nobody can get back over there.
Tempo Storm just went down. Samty outside in the blue, so that is Tempo Storm out. Bear in mind that was a second place team. AAA still not really being challenged. Oroxes has gone down now, so he gets finished off. Monkey being the last man standing for AAA. TSM just about inside this shack. They have to get moving soon, and Ronin still have them very much pinned.
You can see that the bullets are flying through this doorway. They want to try to get out, so we can see that a little bit of a flank's going to come off to the side of the building. Try to provide some level of cover so that way AMPR can peek outside of this. He keeps doing that little juke step, so that way it's like take a couple of shots, and then try to make a run back out and around. They might end up having to leave all of their vehicles back behind there and just run it through, trying to use trees and some level of cover to get there.
Well, Alliance getting picked off by the Miami Flamingos. There we're seeing Method just on the outskirts as it stands. Trying to see a quick look at the standings, because I'm looking at Noble, and Noble having a very good position, of course. They had a good finish a moment ago, but they have so far to go. They're in 9th place with 940 points. They would have to have a monster round here to even challenge AAA, but it could certainly launch them well up into the money. Ronin on the move. That's going to free up TSM, who were pinned by them. It's 80, the only member of Method that's nearby TSM, so they're going to be able to mobilize, but you can see no wheels on their wagon. They've got a UAZ behind them. I'm not too sure whether there's any tires shot out on that. Yeah, you can see the rear tires have gone as well.
Off to the side. He's going out inside the blue, and he's trying to come with a back flank onto him, because nobody's going to be expecting somebody to come from the blue back behind you at this stage in the game. That could be a real big spoiler coming out. Actually, Etsy does manage to get in a vehicle, but Break does see him, and he's going to take him down.
Everybody mobilizing. Cloud9 going for the single shack. The back and center. Cloud9 will try and occupy that. They've had a torrid time. They got themselves a chicken dinner yesterday, but have done absolutely nothing since. TSM on the move. It's Break going in on the UAZ. He's going to try and get himself in past his complex. Wind and Rain piling in. NIP moving in. AAA moving in. Monkey's going to try and run straight in towards them, but it's obviously Smack and Break that we're trying to follow as they move in towards this single shack. Cloud9 trying to occupy it, but TSM, they're going to have to hit the tree on that vehicle. He's going, oh, and Break just about survives. The explosion wipes out Smack, I believe, there, and he leaves TSM down to 2 members. AMPR is outside the circle. TSM Break is downed by Ronin, and TSM now with just 1 member left outside the circle.
Next circle has populated, and nobody's inside of it except for a down Break. AMPR is outside in the blue and potentially could make it back over to him, but Ronin's held him in a nice forward position. They have a good sight line onto it, so there's no way to make it over. AMPR is trying to push back over. Monkey is actually still alive as well, and is holding down right behind Cloud9. Living that sneaky snake life. He's just trying to crawl through, hoping nobody sees him.
Noble on the flank. Obviously, the circle is completely pulled away from the coastline, so everybody that was sitting there has to get moving. TSM wiped out. Tempo Storm already out as well, and AAA still in the points. I'm pretty sure it means they're going to be the champions here at Oakland, but obviously we need to wait a long time before the total points gets totted up as Monkey gets Frolicker just sneaking on by, snaking in the grass, and they're going to keep on watching. He's no reason to take any shots, but everybody that was sitting in the water, that's Ghost Gaming and FaZe sitting on the coastline, they have to get moving in just a moment as the little snake continues in Monkey.
He's just trying to survive at this point. He knows that the circle's going to be coming up back behind him in just a second. Noble is having a nice firefight off to the side with Wind and Rain, who's getting crashed on right now by Cloud9, so that's going to be a rough spot for them to be out, and you can see, yeah, they're just dropping like flies over there. Ronin's also going to have to push back out, but Ronin is inside the circle, and Cloud9 is inside the circle. FaZe throwing a grenade. Is he going to hit it onto Ghost? No, they are going to move back up the hillside and get away.
Cloud9 having a massive round right now, by the way. They've already got themselves, what, 14 kills? I think it is 13, 14 kills so far for Cloud9, so a big round for them. Austin knows that Fuzzface is back there, so they've obviously been engaging. Monkey continues to creep forward. He's just going to work his way on the blue. He knows Cloud9's ahead of him as he pushes through. He's got Frexis just to his left on the hillside as Monkey goes down, but he is well inside the top 5, I believe, and that could be a massive finish, and good count for everything. Cloud9 are going huge though. Chappie gets himself another knock as McCoy gets picked up around the side. It's just Ronin and Cloud9 with Fuzzface tanking through the blue. He's firing the shots off as he goes down. It is the last 2 standing now. It is Cloud9 versus Ronin.
And a solid 3v3 across from each other. Nobody is inside the circle at the direct time. You can see that we do have a little bit of a building complex that has been set up. Cloud9 is right next to this shack and trying to do a peek around, get a nice line of sight onto Not a Developer, who's on the other side of this and holding down a couple of vehicles. They're not going to be able to use these to reposition, not unless somebody provides some immaculate cover fire coming over here. And Mini Fridge Jr. holding a nice angle, gets some shots over towards Cloud9.
Ronin trying to push. Cloud9, of course, have the only complex that was inside the circle. Not a Developer charging in. He's gone very aggressive, trying to get that little defilade angle, and he's managed to secure it as well. Nobody from Cloud9 can peek without getting their heads popped as Not a Developer, who was the newest member of Ronin, came in through the qualifiers, of course. In a very good position. Cloud9, can they be the second team to get 2 chicken dinners here at Oakland? Sadly for them, it hasn't been a very successful time outside of that one game.
He's playing aggro. He's coming off on a side flank on him. It doesn't seem like they're aware of it. And there we go. We see Not a Developer get it down onto this, making this a 3v2. Solid FPS. Looks like he's going to go for a reposition. Shots are coming out. Everybody's ducking down. Back behind us. And we see Solid go down. This is a 3v1 now coming out.
Chappie, the last man standing. He's going to try and peek around. Not a Developer gets the heel off. Duck going for a long long-range shots there. The solid FPS goes down. Chappy, can he go huge? You've seen it on his streams many times, but right now he's got to do it in a pro tournament. He gets not a developer down, but he's got no time to heal, and he's going to get pushed up on by Mini Fridge Jr., but he just can't find the flank. Chappy gets the... He's got the reload, but he's only got 31 bullets left in that AKM. He's just gone for a reload, and that's all that is left. And Ronan, they have the circle. They have the vehicles. They have the position. Chappy looks like he's out of meds.
And they were just pulling back, trying to figure out where the next circle is going to be at. You can see that they've all switched over to grenades.
They're going to go for the grenades, but look at the flank. Chappy comes around the side. Can he get the knock onto Duck? He can. It's down to a 1-on-1 from a 1-on-3 situation. It's Chappy versus Duck. Duck peeking down. He's already been knocked. A grenade right now would be beautiful, but Chappy hasn't got it. He sees the shot. He's going to take it. The taps comes out. It's not quite enough. Just flanks back around the UAZ. He has to push. He's got the tree to cover him off. Mini Fridge Jr. in there. Duck did get rest. He's got to get the peek around the side. You can see his teammate trying to block him off with the shots there. Mini Fridge Jr. goes for the peek. And Ronan take it. Ronan gets the round. But look at the finishes. FaZe in third place. AAA with a 6th place finish. They didn't get a single kill in there, but it looks like AAA may well be the champions here at Oakland because nobody really challenged them in this game. It wasn't as open and fierce and hopeful as we'd think, with TSM and Tempo Storm effectively getting sandwiched out of the game.
And that's a big influencing factor inside of this. You can see that Ronan came up, and they finally do get themselves a win. Nice of them to come out in the last game and make a name for themselves. Cloud9 also with a lot of solid play. Look at that. Altogether, they came out with 17 kills inside of that. Nice coming in for a 2nd place finish. Following that up, FaZe just really didn't get any kills inside there for 3.
And we should talk about, obviously, the money finishes, because obviously it's not just about 1st place. FaZe getting himself that 3rd place, I mean, that could be pretty big. Obviously, Fuzzface was the guy that was just sitting on the rocks effectively and hiding. Ghost Gaming, another 4th place finish for them. They were already in 4th place. Bearing in mind, there was only 75 points between 2nd and 4th. It may have just pushed them forward. It may have just pushed them forward, but there is AAA, the Frenchman. You know, I've got a French guy at home called Le Todd. He's a pretty well-known commentator in various games, and he said, never underestimate the French. French PUBG. Never second guess it, and certainly these are the final moments. Of course, you can see Ghost Roth on the side with FaZe. That was the end of Noble, I feel, going down there as Cloud9 held the ground, and they really were in prime position, but Ronan, it was all about not a developer's flank.
Yeah, look at how far he pushes across this. He knows that he has a nice push that he can come off to the side. He cleared so much distance coming back over there, and it looks like we're seeing a little bit of a celebration.
Yeah, and why not? Why not? They didn't get challenged like we were hoping they were. They obviously went into Milta. It just didn't work out for them, but AAA, they are the winners of the Intel Extreme Masters Oakland. I believe we're going to go over to Rich Sims in a moment. You can see he's there, ready and waiting to go. And the French guys, you know, the irony is they got that 1 chicken dinner at last, but it just was enough. They were solid throughout the tournament. Let's get over to the winners.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winners of IEM Oakland 2017, AAA. Guys, come on over. Come on over. Okay, Shadow, we'll run with yourself. First of all, it's the most generic question. Guys, how are you feeling?
It's crazy. It's crazy. We are happy, very happy to be the winner. It's crazy. I don't know what to say, but...
Okay, we'll start off. And you guys have been grinding your asses off since playing back on Evolve. You've been playing on the all online tournaments. You came through the qualification process. You've been grinding non-stop. Yeah. We all had a bit of an inkling that you guys had come into this, and we know back home, the French people, they love esports. They're going to have your backs in this. But for you guys, what does this mean to you? Coming in as a non-invited team, but a qualified team, what does this actually mean to you now to kind of solidify yourselves as the #1, essentially, in the Western Hemisphere?
I think all the training, all the tournament we did, the past few, I mean, since like 4 months, it was a lot of work, a lot of time into the game, but yeah, I think it worth it, yeah.
Okay, for all the people back home, your family, your friends, and I'm going to kind of pass this one round. Any words for family back home?
Maybe next time we'll get invited for the next tournament.
Okay, I'll let that one. Friends and family back home, any words?
On est 400% serein ici.
I'm not sure what that means. I'm hoping it's clean language. I'm hoping it's good. Any final words?
I'm just proud, very, very proud of my teammates.
Oh, guys, give it up once again for AAA! Now, guys, let's come down here. Before we say shake hands, guys, come back. Down on that loot box there, there's 4 beautiful trophies and a man ready to present you. Guys, please take it that way. In fact, I think we're going this way. Follow me. We'll take it down. Gentlemen, please go and collect your trophies. People of the audience, make some noise once again, AAA!
Really, it's an amazing place today, and yeah, it's been a wonderful day to play, so thank you for attending.
Thanks, thank you.
So, this is pretty much just the start, I want to say. Obviously, big things ahead.
We hope so. Like, we've got a great team, and like we do events like this to both promote the great teams that take part, but also to learn and try to improve every time. So, you know, it's a big learning curve for us, but with these guys' help and everyone else, I think we're going to get better and better and better.
So just for everyone else, obviously this event, something like this, it takes a lot of time, a lot of preparation. From all the people in the back, there's a production team, admin staff, the people over at PUBG
So many
Corp,
people.
on both sides of the coin. Can I please get just a round of applause for everybody in the back? Everyone who's working on the dev side, production, admin, you name it, helping all these players out. But before we go back to the desk, once again, let's scream the house down for your winners, AAA.